What's up, YouTube? I really want to talk about the importance of letting go and sacrificing things so that ultimately you can get to the place that you want to be. This is something that I've probably battled with the past few years, really taking the things that I'm so used to being around or used to doing and just saying, I'm going to get rid of this right now. I'm going to focus on this thing over here and my relationship with God. One of the important things that I want you to be aware of is, like, when you're on your journey and you're getting closer to God and you want to nurture your relationship with God, one of the biggest things is, like, you have to sacrifice something in your life that is consuming your time, something that you could possibly be idolizing. That could be scrolling on your phone, that could be playing video games, it could be different things that have your attention that you don't realize have so much of your attention until you start really spending time with God. And I think it's important to be aware of what these things are, because getting rid of those things that you've been so used to doing for years and years and just getting rid of it so fast can be pretty tough. But knowing that ultimately it's to get you closer to your purpose and to nurture a relationship with God and really get rooted within yourself and the Bible, it will take you further. One thing that I've had to get rid of recently was I would play video games from time to time. I would still be locked into video games. I'll play a lot with my friends. Like the past, it would probably be like 2 years ago is when I was really playing still. And video games have been a huge part of my life. When I was a kid, I used to stay in front of the computer for hours and hours playing backyard baseball for the longest. And it was kind of like an addiction. It was like, I didn't realize at the time I was really young. But as I got older, I used to play with friends. I didn't really have a lot of friends around my neighborhood. So I would go outside from time to time. But most of the time I would play with my friends online because I had 2 older sisters. So that's probably the only, other thing I could do with guys except for sports. Like, I did sports as well. But video games is something I had to really dish out and get rid of. And I knew that it was going to be for a bigger reason why I had to let those go. Letting go of things, like I said, can be so tough because you're so used to it being in your life. But just know, like, God has something more for you. He has something greater for you. You just have to cut down those things that take so much of your time and attention. Because when you think about it, when you start diving deep, it's like, you're idolizing these things and you don't even realize it. Like, these things are taking more time than your time that you're spending with God and really reading the Word and journaling and things like that get you spiritually stronger and grow you spiritually. Another thing that can be hard is letting go of relationships and letting go of people and friends that you had in your life that aren't contributing to the growth that you need. And I tell you, this could be probably the hardest thing, because some people you have in your life for so long, you feel like you kind of feel guilty that or like kind of bad that, I can't really spend too much time with this person over here because they're involved in this, and I really don't want to be involved in that. Like, that's not where God is telling me to be right now. And that could be a hard thing. And some people you do have to completely let go because it's just not healthy for you. And like I say, this can be one of the hardest things because you spend so much time with those people and it feels like it's taking like a piece of you, or you're missing a piece whenever those things are gone. But what fills that void is really Jesus, and filling your heart up with the Word and guarding your heart. Letting go is not a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing, but it is necessary so that you can get to that next level that you need to be. Holding on to things that you won't let go is not allowing you to receive the blessings that God has for you. So sometimes there are a lot of things that are taken out of our lives and a lot of things that we want to hold on to block us from really receiving the blessings that God has for us later on down the line. Most of the time it's like a test. And I notice the things that I've had to do in the past, those were like testing moments where it's like, am I gonna let this go or hold on to this? And every time that I've let go, it's like I receive way more than expected. And that's usually how things go. It's like God has something better for you if you don't hold on to things that just don't need to be in your life anymore. And speaking of that, it's like you always got to ask yourself, do you truly trust God and what he has for you? Or are you just still scared and you just still like, you kind of hesitant. You're like, I kind of do trust God. Like, I'm guilty of this myself. Like, sometimes I'll be like, man, do I really trust God? And do I really trust like what he got going for me? And the things that I know he's working on in the background. I know the things I'm going through currently, and the things that I gotta let go and stop holding on to. But it's like, sometimes I got them thoughts. It's just like, and man, do I really trust God? Because why am I still having anxiety about this? Or why am I still looking forward? And I'm like, will it work out this way? You really have to put your full faith and trust in God. I had a true testament of faith of just traveling abroad, not knowing anybody, and just meeting people that I had no clue I would even meet. I remember going to Greece first. Going to Greece, I had one point of contact that wasn't even in Athens where I was gonna go. And from there, I just had to meet random folks. And basically, I was pretty much taken care of. I remember I didn't even have Wi-Fi when I first got there. I was like, yo, I didn't even have service, Wi-Fi. I'm in a foreign country, don't speak the language. And I had to like go walk around. I couldn't even find my Airbnb. I had to walk around and try to find Wi-Fi. I found Wi-Fi. I'm communicating with the manager of the Airbnb space. And I figured out how to get to that place. And it was just crazy. But at the end of the day, I realized through that whole trip, when I was solo traveling, it's just like God had my back the whole time. So the hard thing is getting rid of those things that you feel like you idolize and you feel like take a lot of time away from the time you could be spending with the Lord and making your relationship right with him. Guys, my life ain't perfect. I've been working through things. I've been stressing about certain things in my life, job situation, decisions, all that stuff. But I know that God always has a bigger plan for me, and it might not be at the pace that I want to go at, but it's the pace that he wants it to go, and it's going to come in the right timing. And you got to think about that in your life. You got to be patient with the things that I know you really want to see this happen in your life, and you really want it to go this certain way, but God has a different plan. It's like a roller coaster. But you always got to put in that work. Faith without works is dead.